Hello beautiful people, you are all welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time of joining us, thank you for being here. Please do press on the red button to subscribe and like. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make a wrap top with a balloon sleeve. We are going to start by drafting out the back pattern, and to determine the amount of fabric to cut out for this, you just divide your bust measurement by 4, or the biggest part of your upper body, divide it by 4 and add at least 3 inches allowance. So we are going to start by drafting our body measurement. We are starting from the shoulder line. So I placed my tape at the shoulder point and I marked out my bust point of 12.5 inches, and I'm rolling a straight line across that point. Then I'll still place my tape at that shoulder line and take my under bust of 17 inches, and then the full length of the top is 20 inches plus 1 inch for sewing allowance for hemming the bottom. So I'll go ahead to take my shoulder measurement of 16 inches divided by 2, which is 8 inches plus half inch for sewing allowance. Then the neck width I'm working with is 2.5 inches and the neck depth is 2 inches. So I'm going to rule a line connecting those dots, and I'll give it a curve at the edge there. So from the shoulder point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for our shoulder slant. You know, the shoulder is not straight, so I'm going to slant it from that point to the neck width. Then I will take my round armhole, my armhole depth, which is my bust measurement, divided by 6 plus 1.5, and I'm going to roll a straight line. So I'll go on to take my bust measurement, divide by 4, and I'll mark it there. And then I'll come to the shoulder line and take the midpoint of the shoulder. At that midpoint, I'll mark the midpoint there. At that midpoint, I'll come in by ½ inch, and then I'll connect the line and curve it into my bust line that I marked there. That's for the front. Then for the back, I'm going to curve it. Remember, we are going to use this same pattern to draft out the front pattern. So I'll take my bust span, which is the one nipple to another nipple, is 4 inches plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. And I'll go ahead and extend the chest line, and then I'll mark the dart line there as well. And I'll rule a straight line from top to bottom. I'm only at, okay, then I'll go on to take my dart measurement, ½ inch on each side of that line. I'm only going to be adding that to the back pattern. There won't be that in the front pattern. So I'll go on to take my waist measurement, divide by 4. Waist of 36 inches divided by 4, and I've already taken the bust measurement, so I'll just add extra 2 inches for sewing allowance, and then I'll come to the waist measurement and I'm going to add 3 inches. Remember the that line we took, which is 1 inch plus 2 inches for the sewing allowance, making it 3 inches. I'll roll a straight line from top to bottom, and basically we are done with the back pattern. I'll extend the neck width and mark out my shoulder seam there, the allowance for my shoulder. So I'll go on and cut it out. So I'm going to use this pattern to cut out the front pattern. So remember to cut for the back at this point. You don't need to cut the front armhole yet. You cut it when we are done drafting out the front pattern. So I only cut out that of the back here. So I'm going to fold another fabric, which is like 2 times of the back pattern. So I'm going to place the back on this fabric, okay? And make sure the folded edge of the fabric is facing the part of the fabric where there is a lot of allowance. So I went ahead to mark my waist measurement on this other pattern again as well. So make sure that folded edge is facing the bigger part of the fabric where there's enough space. So I'll go on and cut out the shoulder and the armhole and the shoulder. I'm tracing everything out the same way. And so to get my wrap top, remember the fabric for the wrap top is on fold. The front pattern is on fold. So I'm going to come down. At this point, I came down by 5 inches. So I don't want my bust to show. You can go down deeper if you want. Then I'm going to mark a curve around that point, connecting it to the edge, the other edge of the material of the Ankara fabric. So I use my pin to hold that part of the back neckline. And then at this point, I came up by 3 inches. I'll mark it there. Then I'm going to connect a line from the neckline of the back pattern to that point that I marked out on the front pattern. So I'm going to cut it out. Also note that the back fabric is also on fold. Okay, the back fabric is on fold. And so this is our front. This is the front part of our crop top, of our wrap top. And so here we have it. So I'm going to go in at that armhole side by the half measurement that I took, and I'll cut it out. You know, this to eliminate bulging at that armhole side. So I noticed that the 5 inches I went down by at the neckline for the front pattern is too up. So I'm marking it again. This time around, I'm coming down by 6 inches. So I'm going to fold the back pattern, the neckline of the back pattern like we did. And I'm going to connect a straight line from the neck width down to the other point of the front part of the wrap top. So I'm going to mark it and then cut it out. Well, I hope you understand this. The first one I cut was too up. Even though I don't want my bust to show, but it was too up. So I need to bring it down a little. That is why I'm doing this. So this is 6 inches now. I came down by 5 inches at first, and now I'm coming down by 6. So this is what we have. I prefer this. This is better. So I'm going to place the back part of the wrap top, and I'll go to my sewing machine and stitch it down at the shoulder. So after stitching it down, this is how it's looking. Okay, so the next thing, we are going to hem that point. We are going to hem the front part into the back neckline. Okay, you can use your bias tape at this point, or you can turn it in with the fabric. And also you can just use this fabric and fold it in like this, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be folding it in this way. You can start from the end or from the back neckline, which is what I'm doing. I'm starting from the back neckline, and I'm using my pins to hold it down. So you can just go that way and fold it in and stitch it down. Just like that. I'll do same for the other side. I'm done, and this is what it looks like. This is what we have. So at this point, to create our sleeve, I'll take the round armhole. I have 24 inches here plus the sewing allowance, and I've also stitched my darts. So to get our armhole, to get our sleeve, I'm going to divide the armhole by 2, which is 12. I marked it there, and at that point I'm going to come down by 5 inches. So I'm going to give it a curve into that 5 inches I came down by, just like that. So I'm retracing it so you can see it clearly. So I'll go on and mark the length of my sleeve, which is 16 inches. Because it's a puff sleeve, it's going to go up. It's a balloon sleeve. It's going to go up a bit, so I need enough length. And then at that point, I'll mark out my round sleeve. Which is 7 inches plus 2 inches for sewing allowance, and I'm going to mark a straight line from top to bottom. So I'll still mark extra 1 inch for my elastic casing. This sleeve is going to have elastic. So I'm marking out the round arm measurement of the sleeve, which is 9 inches. I'm going to divide that by 4, which is 2.25. And I'm going to mark out that 2.25 all around that round sleeve. I'm going to mark out 2.25. This is what I'm going to use. For this sleeve, I'm using a slash and spread method. So this is how I'm going to be slashing it, marking out 2.25 at each point. So I'm going to be rolling those lines. I'm going to be rolling them up. These are the lines that I'll be slashing. And this is because we are trying to achieve puffiness for the sleeve. Though I just want the puffiness to be at the bottom of the sleeve. The armhole part, there won't be any gathers or pleats there. It's just going to be normal. But the sleeve hem is where the elastic will be. So the emphasis of this puffiness is going to be at the hem of the sleeve. So I'm going to cut out this sleeve now. So I'll be slashing through the lines. I'll slash all the lines. And after doing that, this is what I have. Okay, this is what I have. I placed it on my fabric and I stretched out, I spread it out using 2 inches in between every spread. From one point to the other is 2 inches distance. If you want a more a very full sleeve with more volume, you can do 3 inches, you can do 4 inches, you can even do 1 inch, depend on the quantity of volume you want for your sleeve. So I'm using 2 inches for my spread. the distance in between each paper spread out right now is 2 inches. So I've gone ahead to cut out my sleeve, and this is how it's looking. And so it's like this. The armhole is normal. The spread is only at the bottom part of the sleeve. And remember, I didn't cut out the paper completely. So I'm going ahead to form my elastic casing, and I'll go to my sewing machine to stitch it round. So after stitching it, I'm going to be fixing in my elastic. I'm using a pin, and I'm pushing the elastic into it, and I'll be pushing it in to the other end of the sleeve. So this is what we have at the end. And I'm going to be attaching this to my wrap top. So I'll mark out the midpoint of this sleeve and connect it to the shoulder point of the wrap top. So I marked out the midpoint of the balloon sleeve, and I'm going to connect it to the wrap top. Now I'll go over to my sewing machine and stitch it all the way around. Okay, so I'm done stitching, and this is what our sleeve is looking like. I'm going to stitch the sides of the wrap top now using 1 inch. So this is the rope for the waist. The length of this rope is 35 inches. You can make the rope as long as you want, while the width is 5 inches. So this rope is on the wrong face. I'm going to stitch one end of the sleeve of the rope down to the other side. So I'm done stitching the sides of the wrap top. So I'm going to be attaching the rope now. I've also stitched the rope, turned it to the right face, and I've ironed it neatly. And so at this point, you can go ahead and just attach your rope to the wrap top this way, to that edge like this, and stitch it down. Or you can go on and open up that open part of your rope, bend some of it in, fold some of it in, and then you fix that part of your wrap top into the rope, and then you stitch it. This is the method I'm going to be using. So I'll go over to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch it into it. So this is how the rope is looking. I prefer this method to the first method. So this is it. That part of the sleeve is inside the rope, and I stitched it together. And so at the end, this is basically it. You're going to be tying the rope around your waist this way. So I've also gone ahead to fold the hem of my wrap top using 1 inch. Remember, I added 1 inch stitching allowance, and this is it. This is how it's looking. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you at this point you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe to the channel, like and comment, share our videos, and God bless you. See you in the next video.